I'm fairly certain this is where I developed my fear for bears, so there's that. Because my coworkers would be like, we went on a hike and got false charged by a grizzly. What? Hey guys, my name is Shayla and I make these videos every Wednesday. I started this channel in 2015 because I was traveling full-time. Now I'm home, clearly, creating my life here. I traveled full-time for 4 years, so I want to tell you the things that I learned, things that you should avoid. This video, I'm talking about working in Alaska for a season. This is kind of a random video that I just wanted to make because I want to tell you that these opportunities are out there and they're available and they're amazing. So many people go to Alaska in the summertime that they need people to go up and work. And then the winter season's just kind of dead. I knew somebody who had already worked up there, so I got connected just via her. But there's a website that you can use if you don't have a connection called Coolworks, and it works all over the place. Seasonal work is rafting guides, fishing guides, waitressing, all the things. Coolworks is where you can go to check them out. But I want to tell you a little bit about my Alaskan adventure. Before I left, we determined a start date and a stop date, and I actually moved my end date. I was dating someone at the time who was like, you're gonna be gone for 3 months? Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make him feel really good and I'm gonna come home a month early. I called them and was like, something came up, I need to leave a month early. And they were like, okay. I was like, okay. Hey boyfriend, nah, whatever. I worked on the Kenai. There was fishing, there was whitewater rafting. A lot of times when you do seasonal work, other activities in the area you get to go do for free or like super discounted. The very first night that I was there, they're like, those are the rafting guys. Those are the guys you should like get to know and talk to. So I started chatting with them and they're like, well, we're leaving. You could go tomorrow if you come with us. Okay. So I like ran back to my room where I haven't even unpacked my stuff, repacked it into a new like day bag and left. And I'm getting in the van with them and they're like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm gonna come rafting. And then we went down to the water at Turning an Arm and they had a guitar and they're playing music. Someone came down and they had just been chased by a moose. Then it's such a magical place. Homer Spit, where you could go halibut fishing, tons of hikes around the area. The Kenai River is like this blue turquoise river that's glacier water. I'm fairly certain this is where I developed my fear for bears, so there's that. Because my coworkers would be like, we went on a hike and got false charged by a grizzly. I'm like, what? Yeah, it like came running towards us and then just stopped. Oh my God, nope. Next to us was a fishing outfitter. Those guides would go take people out fishing and then they would come back and be like, you guys wanna go fishing? And we'd like put our big boots on and go fishing. I made a friend out there who was there traveling for work. He calls me like a month later and he's like, hey, I picked up a hitchhiker who's a paragliding instructor. You wanna go paragliding? The other people that you meet while you're out there are the coolest. A lot of them are teachers. Teachers do a lot of like seasonal work because obviously they have the summer off. It's true what they say about Alaska. It's bright in the summertime. It gets like dusky until 11. I was there for the solstice, and on the solstice at 11 it was like still really bright. We were at a bonfire. I don't know how it works for all places, but like we had to pay for our own cabin. So you got to choose between a tent or a cabin. I think it was like $100 more for a cabin, but I was like, I need to do a cabin because a bear can get in a tent. A bear will have a lot harder time getting into a cabin. And my family was like, yeah, great idea. Somebody that came in, they owned a campground and they were like, oh, you should come to our campground. I was like, that's weird. And then he came in with his wife. His wife was like, yeah, you should come. I was like, okay. We left the restaurant, we went shooting, and he had a sauna. And so I learned that you go in a cold shower, then you go in the sauna for however long, then you go in the cold shower, and then sauna, and then back and forth, and it's supposed to be really good for you. And then my dad came to visit. It was always his goal to get to Alaska, so I was like, if I go work there, then he's gonna have to visit me, and he did. I wanted my dad to rent a van so badly, and he's like, no, I'm renting a car. And then he got to Anchorage and I went to pick him up and there were no cars available. The people were like, all of our cars are sold out, but we can give you this minivan. And I was like, Dad, this is the greatest thing ever. So we got an air mattress and he's like, we're not gonna sleep in the van. And we slept in the van like 2 or 3 nights. We went out and we went to Homer Spit and we went to the Salty Dog and had too many beers and we had to sleep in the van. And then we went up to Denali and we didn't book a hotel anywhere, and so we had to sleep in the van. Like, it was amazing. We went up and saw glaciers and saw Denali National Park, and we saw a bear eating another bear, like some crazy stuff. I met an archaeologist. I was like, wow, you're in Alaska for archaeology? He's like, yeah, they have to hire an archaeologist when they're digging up the road in case anything like pops off and they find something. So the archaeologist can be there to like do something about it. I went to Girdwood Forest Fair, and it's like just a hippie fest. It was so much fun. There was live music. The live music in Alaska is amazing. I love everything. Alaska is my favorite place. At the very end, I was like about to go home, and my boyfriend was finally glad that I was coming home after 2 months. And I was like, apparently there's a ferry that you can take from Whittier all the way down to Bellingham, Washington. I'm gonna do that. And it's a 5-day ferry. And you can either get a room, pull your car onto, or you can just pitch a tent on the deck and go down to Bellingham, Washington. And so that's what I did. I had someone drive me out to Whittier, got on the ferry. Sounds glamorous. The views were honestly amazing and the sunsets were beautiful. But there's not a lot to do on that ferry at all. I remember stopping in Juneau. I can't remember the other spots, but I met families on there who were like, oh yeah, we're on this ferry to go up to this cabin that we have to kayak to in Alaska. It's just so freaking rad. So I took this ferry down and my friend picked me up in Bellingham. We went to Seattle for a little bit. We went in Oregon camping and hiking around, and then I flew home from there. So what I'm trying to tell you is if you have the opportunity to go to Alaska, I would highly recommend the Kenai Peninsula. When I went to Denali, I was super glad I didn't work there because there were just so many tourists, and Kenai is more like fishermen, and it just felt, I don't know, better. The tourists are like, I don't know. I just wanted to tell you about that trip, encourage you to try it if you want. Share this with somebody who you think would love to go to Alaska for the summer. If you guys have any questions about it, put it below and I will do my best to answer them, and I will talk to you all next Wednesday. Mwah! Bye, thank you.